I say this fabulous historic venue that staged some major Grand Prix throughout its history back in the 90s. Some of the big names winning here like Marcus Fuchs, Hugo Simon, John Whittaker, all in the major Grand Prix here. And I say some of those horses that were produced through that were competing here like Top Gun La Cia, Dollar Girl with Nick Skelton, of course, and many, many more through the wonderful history. Ninja La Cia in more recent years as well. There's onto the second of our group of those going through. Amanda Derbyshire, Cornwall BH of this lineup of the first round. Eugenio Garza, winner of the opening class here with Contago. Sean Jobin of Canada. Paul O'Shea, former winner here, winner last year of the Grand Prix with Chancellor S. And then down to our 20th in the order is Juan Jose Zendaya Salgado and Tino La Chapelle. So that's our first 20. And taking you through to the final few that we'll see as part of the first round here as well. They include last week's big Grand Prix winner Lily Keaton, Queensland E. Eduardo de Menezes, who finished second with H Big Action, goes 23rd. Bliss Hears, winner of the Grand Prix in San Miguel, goes into 24th position. Alberto Micham, Nabal de Trevera, and then to complete our 30, Carlos Sangarero and H5 Turbo Z. Just a few more to bring on that lineup, which will take you through as we go. But our first heads on in, so we're going to concentrate on that. And Richie Maloney is going to be our first with Cocoa Beach over this course designed by Gregory Bordeaux of France, who heads in for this week's big competition. Now, a long course at 14 numbered fences in all, 17 jumping efforts for the track here. It includes the water, the triple bar is just triple bar, and triple combination that he's just walking up to at 8, A, B and C. A few guests will be joining us along the way, including Hannah Robson, who'll be with me for the first few. And Rich, you're going to start us off on terrific confidence form after a very good run for the Eye Candy team yesterday as well. So should be buoyed on the back of that one. And after a very good run in America in the early part of the year, having won on a regular basis in Kentucky.
Yeah, I would imagine that fantastic performance from Team Eye Candy would give them a lot of confidence coming in here. That's their second win in the team competition this season. And Richie has played a key part in that success that they had yesterday. But Cocoa Beach is a horse that's been going increasingly well for him. And what a treat to have such a fantastic lineup of horses and riders in this competition. And we've seen this combination jumping in our Major League Show jumping shows here in Monterey last week, as well as at San Miguel. As well as in Toronto as well. They were 11th in the 5-star Grand Prix there, just with one fence down.
Richie as well has been a little bit of a lucky charm coming onto the team for them in the second part of the season. Really picked up for the Eye Candy team. We will concentrate on the individual competition today. Fence 5 there into the early stages, 150, 160 in spread. Roll back then to the wall, the Major League wall. And then this is where they come up a long testing line here. Triple bar at 7. You'll start to get a little forward here. It's a little bit more stretched out in the first. The distance is at 8 meters 30. Just as you come a little bit of an incline up the hill, then it gets quite short on the way out there to the Oxford. But should work back well for them as they sit back onto it on the way out there. 150, 160 on the Oxford there. The CP fence sits alone out on that part of the ring. Just trying to hold them up. It was just getting a bit strong coming down that line now. The water just giving a bit of encouragement there. Big over that. I think many will come on 7 down to the next, then to the Oxer at 12, and then a turn back now into the shadows of the VIP at the Benorte fence with a red plank on top, and Oxer at the last at the Lycia fence to round off. Big course, big track, and big jumping needed, and for them is going to be, I think that was 3 down, so going to be 12 for Richie Maloney and Cocoa Beach as the first to come out of the starting blocks for this GNP Seguros Grand Prix here this afternoon. Time allowed of 80 seconds around this long winding track here for a conclusion of competition here in La Cia. as we head to Alexis Sokolov of the USA and Kelsiet EBZ, a 9-year-old by Korneta Bolensky for the US rider, into her first year as part of Major League Jumping. Of course, it's only year 2 for the series itself, but already building up. Just goes and has a little walkover to the splash that is going to be the fence at 11, but a good experience year for her as well, as she's been getting used to some of these more bigger tracks that she's faced, and faced well so far.
Yes, this is really the year that Alexis has been stepping up to the 5-star level, and she's really been putting the hours in and getting the miles on the clock, both as a rider and with her horses. She doesn't necessarily have the easiest of horses to ride. Fasole de Seigneur is the one that she rode in the team competition, and that can be quite a hot horse, but she did very, very well last night with that. Calciat EBZ is one that she's been riding since August of this year. This was previously ridden by Connor Swale, who of course is who Alexis trains with. She's done well this week, despite the fact that Connor hasn't been here in person, but no doubt has been supporting from afar. She's jumped a good number of clears already this year so far with this horse. And not only has she been jumping around America, she's also had a trip over to Europe to jump in a number of competitions there in places like Dinard and Nokkahipik as well. Just getting experience in a range of different arenas, which is just invaluable at this stage of her career.
Yeah, it was looking good through the triple combination, gets up but just doesn't get across the back bar on the way out of there. Like I say, it just is a little play around with the distances as he just squeezes up on that second part coming up the hillside. Now down to the water, just picks up a couple of strides out, looks to clear it okay. And looking good so far. And just dropping down at the Benorte fence. That's going to be a tough one. I think it's a couple down on course there for them as they go for Alexis Sokolov there. So a couple down to finish on the 8. And say that's time allowed of 80 seconds. She was round in 87.77, so was going to have time faults on top of that as well. But as I say, seems happy enough with that one too for their first outing into this big class here in Monterrey. Federico Fernandez, the Mexican Olympian. And coming forward, the 11-year-old Romeo, French-bred horse by Lando for Federico. And for him, it's been, as ever, a good, consistent run for him. He's been placed in the Grand Prix last week here and previously, of course, in San Miguel as well. Had a good run there, top 5 of the Grand Prix in Jalapa. Not too much of a surprise to see him up in the game as well in a host of the big classes, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him in a good place here again today.
Yes, he did do very well last week, and he's also done really quite well this week in the 5-star classes too. But of course, he's just such an experienced competitor, and really one that you may well bank on to go well here. He's also a rider who can be pretty quick against the clock. He's, of course, our first competitor for Mexico. We saw the crowds very much getting behind the Mexican competitors yesterday. He did well in a 4-star Grand Prix at Quapex Pan last month as well to finish 5th. And he's also been jumping in some Nations Cup competitions with this horse as well at Spruce Meadows back in September. This, of course, was also his horse for the World Championships in the summer in Herning in Denmark.
Yeah, just a little style to come down to on the 4 strides there at 1.55 meters. That's been put to good effect over the last couple of weeks here in Monterrey. He's getting some really good, efficient turns in here so far, again with that time in mind. Gets up for the first part. It's just going to need a bit of steam to get out. Oh, and unfortunately just not quite enough.
It's the second time we've had 8C falling. Could end up being quite influential, I think, coming on that slight uphill to the triple combination. Cabana Coast goes as well.
Yeah, just flattens off coming down to the water. onto that first vertical. Now takes a good run at the Oxer with energy. Time-wise as well, it's all proving quite tight. I say 80 seconds being the time allowed. They're up to going to be about 84.91 for them for a time as well. And so with the faults included, it's going to add some time faults to them as well for Federico Fernandez. So not easy going, as you'd expect, for the big Grand Prix finish of the week here. 5-star Grand Prix with Simon Nisri and Ferrari VDL.
Certainly isn't an easy course, and actually quite a few people were saying on the course walk that commenting on how long the course is as well, and especially having 14 fences, it's quite a large arena and they are going up and down the full length of it. It's really quite a question of fitness as well to keep going and keep the energy maintained throughout the entire course.
Yeah, well, Simon Nisri with Ferrari will be tested here with a 12-year-old that's in perfect form here, ready for this class. And Simon was also with us last week. A few combinations heading back in, a few new combinations coming in for this week's Grand Prix. As I say, Lily Keenan was the number one here last week, and that was really up against Eduardo de Menezes. And I say they're going to be under pressure for time now.
First part of the Major League, Oxley just gets a little bit deep in there. There are a couple of related distances down here that a lot of people were walking and re-walking, you know, making sure that they have the exact line that they want. This line here from the wall then to the triple bar is one that was a lot of people are having an extra look at, whether they take a straighter line or more of a curve there.
Yeah, again with that time pressure. There's another one that just has the fence on the way out. To say it's just a clever bit of designing in terms of the balancing act to get through there.
Big shot to the water. Tells you how tough this course is, because this horse has actually jumped a lot of 5-star Grand Prix, plenty under Simon, but also a lot under Zoe Osterhoff, who brought the horse on over in Europe, and the horse is perfectly experienced at this level, but certainly not finding this easy at all.
Well, Ignacio Morin now and Franco 79. 9-year-old here for Ignacio from Argentina by Firth of Lawn. What we saw competing last week looks a really nice potential combination to come through. Ignacio competing here, not part of the teams, the rider there that's already made it onto teams for Argentina before now.
Yes, very experienced competitor, and another one who we've got a lot of riders actually here in the field who are not only some of the best riders in the world, and they're very highly ranked, but also we have riders who've been to the World Championships this year. We've got riders from Olympic Games in the field, from European Championships, from Pan American Games, and they've just got an incredible lineup here. Ignacio Marin, certainly a rider that you would have on your list as one of the top riders in the field, or certainly very experienced. And again, that just gives you a little bit of an indication of how tough this course is. We're yet to have a clear.
Yeah, time allowed has been extended to 84 seconds. Oh, and that Banorte fence has gone again. The plank catching them out there. So unfortunately going to see that one dropping. I think we're going to see that one dropping quite a few times throughout this class. Ignacio Morin, though, with a very good-looking horse for the future, the 9-year-old Franco. Much to build on, having been round these 5-star tracks now for the last couple of weeks.
Well, the course design team here have certainly set a really stiff challenge, and that's really the feeling that we had in last week's 5-star Grand Prix as well. But as many of the riders commented, it is what you come to expect from a top-level competition like this, especially with such a world-class field. There have to be a range of different questions being asked. There have to be a range of different challenges being set, and actually they're all the way around this course. There's no let-up point at all.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at Carl Cook. And Carl is going to be with the well-established 15-year-old Caillou, owned by Sydney Osby. And he's won many a Grand Prix with this. And of course, last week as well was top of the team event for Team Helios. Carl, 5-star winner at the Hampton Classic this year as well, so has tucked away his first 5-star Grand Prix win of the season.
Caillou is just one of these horses that we see in so many of these competitions. Just now is one that you would hold up as being extremely consistent, and Carl is of course a very experienced rider. Caillou is a horse that we saw him ride last week in the team competition, helping Helios to their win.
Gives them an extra stride down there, but gives them enough space to be able to get out of that triple combination. Just a little touch on the way out there. So they've just added a little in terms of the time, going up to 84 on the time allowed. Oh, and takes a look at the water. He just, I think, had the feeling a few out that maybe wasn't going to quite happen. And he knows, so he says, okay, thank you very much. That's not going to happen today. Not going to push that one.
It just wasn't quite right, was it? And he was just really pushing for the distance there, and the horse just didn't quite meet it where he had in mind. So unfortunately, yes, with that refusal, he knows he's not going to be in with a chance here. So he knows it's sensible to save the horse for another day.
Yeah, decides to retire with Caillou, and Fabien Saint-Jean will be next with Temple for the next of the Argentinian riders. Fabien Sayanes being the one of 3 Argentinian riders competing here over the weeks on a Mexican-bred horse, in fact, bred by La Silla. Temple coming from the La Silla line. We saw several of those last night, of course, with the auction here as well. I know a good reminder of some of the great horses that have come through the La Silla stud over the years.
Fabian, another rider who went to the World Championships this year, but that was riding the horse Harley VD Bishop. He's competed Temple all around Mexico so far this year in some high-profile competitions up to 4-star level. Now has been stepping up to 5 stars this week.
Oh, turns tight in there and it doesn't come together, I'm afraid. It just gets a little unbalanced coming into that double and it'll cost them a couple.
I think that's certainly a characteristic of this course as well. If you're unsettled to one fence, it really will impact on the next.
Just holding down there to get, as I say, 8.30 in the first, 8.10 in the second. Just gets that really nicely up that line. Oh, was just getting to the bottom of that. It was just trying to hold them off it, just not quite enough. And as you say, it just starts to rattle up. He's going to say he's going to retire. So hand going up for Fabian Sahanis there, and Temple for Argentina. It's up to 16 at that point. A mix of scores so far. We saw it was last week. It was a little bit of a tougher start, and then it all started to take shape with Lily Kin in the end proving the winner. 3 clears as part of last week's Grand Prix here in Monterey. And reminding us of that is Arturo Porrada now, who went so brilliantly there. Different horse though this time with Wisconsin PS.
Yes, exactly. Last week, this is the horse that he rode on the team competition for the Roadrunners. Roadrunners not finishing in the top 4 last week, but this week they indeed were. They were 4th, just outside the podium. They're still looking for a podium finish as a team. But this is a horse that Arturo has been riding since September this year. It was a former ride of Jesus Francisco Orantes Har, a Mexican rider. He's jumped this horse in the 2-star classes at Guadalajara and was 3rd in a 2-star jump-off class there and 9th in a 2-star speed class. The horse has very much got the potential for the speed. Comes a bit deep into fence 5. Then comes round on the 7 to the triple bar from the wall. That's jumping quite well. And tidily through the triple combination as well. The Cabana Coast up right there, just as they come round the corner, is so easily clipped.
Yeah, and the step up for this horse into these classes here as a 9-year-old combination just comes down there quite quickly, and that's going to cost them on the way.
Gets deep to the last as well.
Yeah, last is going to go with them too. So 79.67 is going to take them to a score of 20 for Arturo Porrada and Wisconsin PSSA. One of the early times that horse has been moved up into the 5-star Grand Prix. So heads out on the 20 this time. Of course, one of the best scores we've seen so far being from Ignacio Morin on the 4. Nicholas Pizarro, Mike Wazowski. Now, this is what I have high hopes for. It's the 10-year-old by Balou de Reventon for the Olympic Mexican rider. Now on the team for the Crusaders, and has had a bit more exposure into these classes and in the very capable hands of Nick. We'll see what can come out of this, but highly bred for the job, I say, by Balou de Reventon. Has already got that string of 5-star successes behind them, and I saw this horse jumping well in Florida in the early part of the year. I'll be very interested to see how they go this week as well.
Yeah, he jumped this horse on the team competition for the Crusaders last week and jumped a really nice clear. The only clear for the team, actually. And his was, in fact, the 3rd best round in the team competition as well, the 3rd fastest clear round. He's also competed this horse in the Nations Cup at Wellington back in March as well, and been 3rd in a 4-star competition at Quapex Pan. Had a win in a 2-star Grand Prix at San Miguel de Allende back in January of this year. Gives a little bit of a knock to one of the bricks on the wall, but it's still in place.
Yeah, it was a nice tidy turn back to it as well, though. It was just unfortunately just gives it a little tap, but it's still there. So that's okay. I was just going to say, just going to have to work to get out of this triple combination, just having that middle part down.
But we have seen this horse jumping really well all week, actually, and as you say, it's certainly an exciting one for the future. Comes now to the final line. 14 fences, remember, on this course. It's a long way round.
Well, there we are, finishing on just the fall there at 81.39. A solid round for Nick Pizarro and Mike Wazowski. One that keeps building as a five-star combination. So looking forward to seeing more of those over the tail end of this year and into next. But just on the one down again, the triple combination is proving tough. Nick, I think, maybe going to try and join us as well a little bit later on. It'd be interested to get his thoughts on how that went and what this one's like to ride so far as a course. A man who's been on course well over the last 2 weeks. He's put 2 wins behind him. Those have been in the jump-off classes. Now it's the move up into the Grand Prix. He's been on the podiums before now in the five-star Grand Prix here on Major League Jumping. And now for Kyle King and Chess. Chess, the 11-year-old by Bafuro van Het Panishoff.
Yes, exactly. And this is a really interesting horse to watch, actually. This is the one that's owned by the syndicate with Kyle, with Nick Delajoyo and Kent Farrington. All of those riders have competed the horse, and it's just coming together for Kyle. I don't think it's necessarily the easiest horse to pilot. He's had a couple of fences down in our five-star Grand Prix up to this point, but absolutely so much potential, and you can see the horse's scope as they continue around here. He's also jumped the horse again on the Crusaders, actually. That was in the early part of the team. Now he's on the road. That was with Nick Delajoyo, but Kyle, of course, on the Roadrunners team. Over fences of 1.55 m in height. This horse is clear a third of the time. That rate goes to 38% over 160 fences.
Mm-hmm. So it increases slightly as they get bigger.
Yes, exactly.
Now this is where they've got to get the right rhythm through here and then just have enough push. Yes. Oof. This one or two just touched on the back. Of course, he's already on the 4, unfortunately, from the Major League double a little earlier on. We've got 2 on 4 at the moment with Nick Pizarro and Ignacio Morin at the moment. So again, for him, he wants to be keeping up a good speed here. Just doesn't want to be careful not to have a time fall. He might just squeak that. He is going to be on 5 at 84.48.
He's just clipped the last as well.
Yeah. Last fence coming into the game as well. So that will put him further down. If he could just have got that home with the 4, might have stood more of a chance of the prize money, but never mind. It is a combination that's coming on very well this season, and we'll look forward to how they go in California over onto home ground into December. Jose Antonio Chedraui and H. Lucky Reto. Now this is a horse that has been a lot talked about. It's a 10-year-old by Bernini for a rider who's a former winner of the Grand Prix actually here in Monterey, many times a team rider for Mexico as well. And part of the Chedraui family that are competing here this week. We've got several generations, I think about 4 generations that have competed in the sport of show jumping successfully.
This combination also jumped in our 5-star Grand Prix last week. They just picked up 7 penalties there. They were a little over the time for them. And let's hope that they don't pick up time penalties here. We have seen the time play a little bit of a factor, but I think it's more of a factor in them trying to keep the pace up and then the fences coming down. Yeah, and last week's round, if I remember, it was a nice deliberate round to get them round and get the experience in there, get a good one under their belt, and again, just might move up, and already looks moving up at the pace a little bit more this week from that point of view. They've actually done very well in some two-star Grand Prix earlier on in the year as well. 5th in San Miguel, and then actually had 2 wins in Mexico City at 2-star level.
Yeah. Yeah, watch those, and that's what I say. You can see the progression coming through into moving into this level. And it keeps coming to this triple bar, 190 in spread, but the key is here the then balance of taking off some pace but leaving enough to do that. There you go, that's how to do it.
Very fine line. Very, very fine line here.
Interestingly, just tucks in tight there. Ooh. Did a good job.
Just sort of swings the quarters in the approach to some of these fences as well, doesn't he? Which perhaps doesn't make it quite so easy for Jose.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now 84 time allowed. It's going to run a little bit close. It's probably going to be too close. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. It's going to be a very good round behind them, but it is going to be time. So 3 for time, 86.32. 3 there for Jose Antonio Chedraui and H. Lucky Reto. Best of scores we've seen at the moment, so it does mean the 4 faulters won't be jumping off because we've got a 3 faulter in there. So that's the progression we're at the moment. But last week we were moving through this stage, and then we finished up with the 3 clears to take it to a conclusion. So 3 at the moment. That's going to move down the 4 faulters, though, as I say. Nick Pizarro going into second then on 81.39, and Ignacio Morin in third on 82.36. And looking out now to Canadian riders Sean Jobin and Darius.
Sean, a rider on the Northern Lights, but a great representative for Canada as well. And this horse has gone very well in the summer months of this year. They jumped in the 5-star winning round just for a couple of fences down. Also jumped in the 5-star Grand Prix at Angelstone Tournaments, our leg close to Toronto, for just 1 fence down. He's also done well at Tryon with this horse in the 3-star competitions, and it's quite a long-term partnership. They know each other well, and Sean's been riding this horse since 2018 in an international competition.
Yeah, won by Warrant, which is the same as Garrett. That was the winning ride for Cali Shot back into Traverse City this year. Of course, that was the former rider Beezy Madden as well. Beezy having ridden a very good La Silla horse in Breitling LS, of course, which he still rides, but went on to win the World Cup finals. Sean just hesitated there. Just a little steady at the moment is the only thing I would say at this point.
I think you just put a bit of an extra stride in there as well, down to 7. Ah.
Yeah, and just translates into a couple down there, unfortunately. I say this, their first year moving up into these big Grand Prix classes.
And there was really what you were saying about, you know, taking it steady but not taking the energy away, actually going to the triple combination, and that's really what caused them the issue there, I think.
On the 8 at the moment. Going to have a little bit to add for time as well, and there we go. Takes them to a total of 10 in all. Couple in there for time at 85.77. So 1 fault for every second commenced over that time allowed of 84. So that would round up to 86. That'll add 2. 2 down for Sean Jobin and Darius for the Canadian rider, and so drops him into 6th place at the moment. Jose Antonio Chedraui, former Grand Prix winner here, is with the best score in the clubhouse at the moment with H. Lucky Reto on 86.32. Eugenio Garza now of Mexico, in fact of Monterrey, based literally just down the road from here, about 20 minutes away from the showgrounds to be exact. And with Contago, the family-owned horse, his parents David and Monica. The 11-year-old by Konrad Obolensky. Started off the day well with the win in the winning round. Didn't have as good a run in the team competition last night, but I think that got him fired up for this morning and will have him fired up for this class. But it's been such a lovely pairing to watch. We watched them earlier on this week, just going so sweetly as well. So this is going to be a really interesting one. Again, nice tidy turn to get them going, and that jump off we watched them in earlier on this week were just so slick around that jump off course. That's where they're going to need that balance again here.
Yeah, they do just go from strength to strength, and I think, you know, he manages these horses extremely well as well. Oh, how unfortunate. But sadly had a couple down last night. But yeah, fantastic win for him earlier on today in that 5-star winning round. That was a very competitive running of that class. So I'm sure that might make the one fence down a little less painful, because this combination really do have the potential to do so well in this 5-star Grand Prix. They actually have been 7th in our last 2 5-star Grand Prix, those being last week here in Monterrey and then also in San Miguel. And it's consistency that's impressive about this combination as well. Horse has got the natural talent, and Eugenio pilots the horse just so expertly, and had a good stint at Spruce Meadows earlier in the year as well. Great championship rider for Mexico as well.
Yeah, just going to finish on the 4 this time, 79.18, good for time, and just that rail coming at 5 over the water tray, just pulled that one off behind, and unfortunately puts them into second place. A good time, still could potentially put them into some good money here today, and after a good winning start for them. Just on the 4 for Eugenio Garza and Contago, but still leaves us without a 0, but we have got a 3 at this point.
Eugenio is often very quick, actually, and I think whenever he does have a fence down, this pace is often very good, so he often does get quite good placings based on a fast 4 as well, which is quite smartly done, I think.
Well, we'll see with another experienced combination here in Patricio Pascal and Seringat. And Seringat, a good experienced horse at 16 years of age now, has been with several top international riders, now passes to another championship rider from Mexico. So we'll see if they can be the ones to produce the 0 score here this afternoon. Patricio, part of the Mexican team, of course, at the World Championships this year. Went well to win in Calgary in September as well. He's a Pan Am silver medalist, so he's got all that wonderful experience behind him. And I say a good experienced horse that's jumped plenty of Grand Prix as well.
Yeah, this pair should be a great combination. Patricio, as you say, very experienced rider too. He's had this horse in international competition since summer of this year. Horse was previously with Eduardo Alvarez Aznar for some time, and also Alejandro Kenneth Gottlieb Boda of Mexico as well. Patricio is another very competitive, very fast rider. Often rides on the championship teams with Eugenio Garza, in fact. Mexican team just going from strength to strength in the championships and the Nations Cups as well. Patricio's competed this horse around Europe recently as well at Lier, and then also, as you say, went to Spruce Meadows and competed this horse at Quapex Pan earlier in the season as well.
Just steadying in there, May. Just need a bit more to get out of there. Yes, they have. They've got it. Now he's just leading you into open up, ring back.
But he almost didn't sort of push too much for that, did he?
No.
Kind of,
Got the 7 down there, all right. I thought he was going to look good, but unfortunately back bar. And then that little light, won't say little in terms of width, but it's little in terms of height and weight, if you like. Plank drops away. It is going to be 8 there, 81.04 again. What was looking like a potential clear just flicks into 8 faults there into 5th place for Patricio Pascal and Seringat. So 3, the best score on the board at the moment, with that of Jose Antonio Chedraui and H. Lucky Reto.
Yeah, the score of 8 for Patricio, it doesn't really seem to reflect for me the way that course went for him, because it was so good throughout so much of it, and it was just that those final 3 fences that were just incredibly unlucky. But really deserved a lower score than he got.
Well, another World Championship combination now, and this is going to be Erin Ballard and Gakia. Finished top 3 with a different ride, Narcotic, earlier on this season at the Grand Prix at Angelstone as well, alongside her very good list of wins that she started off 2022 with in Wellington, Florida.
She was 10th with this horse in our 5-star Grand Prix last week. But yeah, really experienced combination. Also jumped in Rome at the Piazza di Siena, the 5-star Grand Prix there for a couple of fences down. Also the 5-star Grand Prix at Miami Beach in April as well. Last year they just had 1 fence down in the 5-star Grand Prix here. And they were 8th in the 5-star jump-off class then as well.
Move up to the triple then. Take it off to get jump in. This could be good. Yes, it is. Erin, such a terrific rider to watch now. Again, got to have, again, the good thing is having a horse that she's got to know inside out now.
Yeah.
Move up down there on the 7, no trouble at all.
She was quite bold actually to that fence, as we were saying, it's delicate. And now she just has 2 more.
Just the last, going to be just about it. Gosh, about okay for time. I was going to say the La Silla fence at the finish, 82. 81, the sigh from the crowd, the sigh from everyone, but that is what the sport it is. It's just a fence down on the 4. It's a tough track, but that's what makes it interesting as well. I can see Gregory Bordeaux, the course designer, is sort of striding up and down somewhere behind us at the moment in amongst the trees. It's always tough for the course designers too. He's done a great job, but it is still without the clear at the moment, but that's the test, and that's what we've got coming up for our next. In fact, we've got a really good group coming up now of riders that could well change that. Like I say, last time around we were quite a way into the class before we saw the first of clears. Then we had 3 in all last week. Shane Sweetnam, Namaste, and another not lacking in experience as a rider. He's on a 9-year-old horse. The Belgian-bred gelding by Elvis Terput is Namaste, which goes back to the line of Amigo as well. And for Shane, terrific year that we've had so far. And Shane, who won the American Gold Cup with James Can Cruz.
James Can Cruz, also a 9-year-old, of course. Actually, he seems to have a couple of 9-year-olds at the minute, and you almost forget that they are quite young because they're so consistent for him.
Well, and that's what I say when we start talking about some of the 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds. Some will be at different stages from that point of view. You see a James Can Cruz, which he's so brilliantly put a good strategic plan around this year to give the horse enough exposure. They've done a lot of winning, they've done well, but has been sparing rightly in the way he's placed the horse throughout the season. And you'd see the likes of a Big Star that was winning at a gold medal at 9 years of age, and others that will be a little bit back from that because they're living, breathing animals.
They are indeed. Shane, though, is one of the best riders in the world at the moment. He's really up there on the Longines World Rankings. And you can really see why he performs so well under, with a whole range of horses. Just so tough to have 8C. It's proving a real problem down there.
Yeah.
Really good down that last line. Unfortunately, just 1 fence down. He is a fraction off the pace of Eugenio Garza, but just a fraction. So he's still one of our fast 4 faulters. Still could be a valuable place to be.
Yeah, 4 faults in the money so far, and he goes into 3rd place for Shane Sweetnam. Eugenio Garza ahead of that on the 4 at 79.18. Jose Antonio Chedraoui still on the 3-time is your leader at the moment. There's a few thinking they're just about to get there, and it just isn't quite happening so far. But a tough course is what makes it interesting. And it's a range of fences, it's a range of poles. Okay, the triple combination is really playing a part in it, but a few well spread out as well. Amanda Derbyshire now. For herself, great experience. She's been many times a Grand Prix winner in the US, where she's based down in Wellington, Florida, riding for the Gotchman family. This is Cornwall BH for the Baxter Hill team. The 14-year-old with a rider who's already added a European medal to her list of championship appearances as well.
Already a win this week as well.
Yeah.
But this is an interesting combination for me in this competition, because Amanda was 6th in our Grand Prix, our 5-star Grand Prix last week with this horse, and she just picked up 2 time penalties. That was a really tough course as well. This is quite a different question, but she didn't have any fences down there, but she did have a little bit for time. So I wonder what her time will be like around here.
I'd say what she's gone so far, her pace should be okay.
Yeah, she's certainly been quick where she's able to be, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She's just taken a slightly different line to the triple, actually. She's just headed right a little bit more and then straightened a bit later.
Yeah, just gave herself a little bit of space to get down there and get straight down that line. Oh, like I say, lots of different fences falling. Now again, you come off that line where you've really opened up, and again they get bowled down to the Oxford, and you've got to be completely the opposite with the plank afterwards. There we go. She's going to get home with the 4 as well. 79.09. She's going to be second best at the moment on the 4 faults from Amanda Derbyshire and Cornwall BH. And so she slots into second behind the 3 faults of Jose Antonio Chedraoui and H. Lucky Reto. Eugenio Garza now into third. Shane Sweetnam in fourth. Nick Pizarro in fifth. So still searching for that first 0. Caitlin Campbell now and Armentos. Finished well in the classes in Atomia, top 5 finish there. Similarly in Angelstone in Toronto stage for the now Californian-based rider. Taking us over the halfway mark now. We're up to what, 18 of 36. So deep breath. So we're halfway through.
Only halfway through, but we still don't have a clear. It really is so tough.
I'm putting the positive that we've got half a class left yet. We could finish up with 8 or 9. Who knows?
I nearly asked you, Stephen, how many clears you thought we'd have, but I think that's probably best not to go there.
Well, okay. I mean, I can stick my neck out and go similar to last week and probably say something like 3, but we'll see.
Well, Armentos is an experienced horse as well, one that Caitlin's been competing since January of this year. Just had quite a rattle at fence 5, but the poles have stayed up. She's had this horse in the top 10 7 times so far in their career together, and she was 6th in the 5-star Grand Prix at Vancouver at our first leg, jumping clear and then just having 1 down in the jump off.
Get straight down that line, just squeaks over the last part.
Working hard through there.
Ooh, just, going to be okay. Just having a little look down there of how far they were going to be off the water. Getting close. Time should be okay. She's got 10 seconds to get home. Oh, and as I say, that's where he puts you. You've opened up. You've got everything going. You're looking back at that oxy you've got to come out at. And just that delicate little plank sits in the way. But there it goes on the 4. 82.28, finishing on 4 there for Caitlin Campbell and Armentos for the US rider. So she goes into the pack on the 4 as well. She will go into 6th place at the moment. Jose Antonio Chedraoui continues to draw deeper breaths. Could he win the Grand Prix here in Monterey once again. H. Lucky Reto this time. He's on the 3-time faults. Only want to clear all the fences, but just a squeak over the time. So that costs them at the moment. But it does leave them vulnerable, of course, because the clears would be ahead of that. But he should be in for some good money. And looks like we're moving over a couple of riders that are on our list, because I can see Lily Keenan out there now, and Queensland E. And Lily, last week's winning rider. So hopefully, fingers crossed, in here with fuller confidence on a 13-year-old experienced horse too. World Championship rider for Team USA this year as well. And as I say, should be buoyed by that success. Finished well in our opening classes too here, was placed in those, so she's got some good money behind her already today. And we will see Queensland E then and Lily Keenan. Can it be a double for them?
It would be a fantastic achievement if she could get into the jump off 2 weeks in a row in these very, very tricky 5-star Grand Prix. But she is an absolutely able competitor. She's done fantastically well recently. That was her first 5-star Grand Prix win, but she's had multiple podium finishes in 5-star Grand Prix this year in places like Valkenswaard, in Paris. She's jumped the Nations Cup at the Dublin Horse Show as well. She was also 8th in the 5-star Grand Prix at San Miguel just a few weeks ago. So not only has she had the good results, but she's had them in very tough competitions. Oh, that is not what she would want, but I'm hoping that she...
Yeah, Martingale's come and done, hasn't it, by the looks of it? Yeah.
I think so, yeah. I'm sure she'll be able to tell the difference, but...
yeah, it doesn't always help you with your balance down there either, so... And just banging around underneath is not helpful.
Not at all. Very unfortunate. It could actually clip a fence as well. And actually you can see that now that martingale's come undone, you can see that the horse is just getting the nose out quite a bit, heading down over those
that's
fences.
Where you just need that control down the triple combination that just unfortunately not quite able to have as they would have done.
And with the plank as well.
Yeah, so it makes the score of 8, 83-26 there for Lily Keenan and Queensland E, I'm afraid. And so we'll finish with a couple down this time. Just comes down with a strap to the...
It's just come unclipped.
Yeah, comes down on the plate underneath. He leans forward and just gathers that up. Alberto Sanchez Cozar cut over, a horse that's a past winner of the Nations Cup Grand Prix in Florida, and went so well to win a class just a few weeks ago in San Miguel de Allende as well. Takes us up to our what would have been 22nd with the full lineup of 36, so a little less than that. So the numbers reducing so far, but we've still got the likes of Derek Kenny to come, Ashley Bond to come, Bliss Hears to come with Antidote de Mars, all in that lineup yet. Carlos Guerrero, Eduardo de Menezes, of course, who was second last week, still yet to come on this order yet. So I have high hopes that my 3 might be about the right number.
We will soon see. I would have agreed, by the way, on a rough 3.
Yeah.
But actually, I might go less than that now that we're seeing this competition. But Catova is a very exciting horse, and certainly one that you could have on your list that would be capable of jumping clear around here. Oh, well, perhaps not today. As you say, it's an experienced horse.
They're very capable of, but unfortunately has a fence down. But just gets that move out to the right. Doesn't find the key either, so unfortunately middle part down. Definitely proving a head scratcher for many coming through that line. Coming home on the 8, he's going to have a little bit of time to add to that as well. 2 for time, so 85.9, so rounds up to 86. Leaves them on a score of 10 for Alberto Sanchez Corzada and Cat over for the rider for Mexico. Still Mexico in the lead at the moment. And with Jose Antonio Chedraui on the 3 time faults with H. Lucky Reto. Now One Eyes will be on. He was close last week, jumped clear, then just had a fence down the jump off, actually produced the fastest time. But it is H Big Action for the E2 stables. 10-year-old by Action Breaker, and goes back the line of Big Star BZ and Big Star, which of course Nick Skelton rode to win Olympic gold on 2 occasions, individual and team. And in the very expert hands of Eduardo de Menezes, many times a 5-star winner. 2nd spot this season in the Stefex Masters Grand Prix back into September. Grand Prix winner in the last 12 months too in the 5 stars in Saint-Tropez.
Also had 5-star wins in Calgary as well at Spruce Meadows, and done well at Wellington earlier in the year as well. Had a good 2nd place at Centaur Park in Belgium as well. But yeah, the 2nd place last week was really, really impressive.
Yeah, it's come over after their European campaign, based over in Belgium, if memory serves. Oh, thought he was going to get there.
Yeah. Again, he just took a slightly more right-handed line from 6 to 7 just to give it a little bit more room to set up for the triple combination, but 3rd part just still coming really, really difficult. No.
Puts his hand up, decides to retire there for Eduardo de Menezes and H Big Action. So still leaves Jose Antonio Chedraui leading so far with H. Lucky Reto on the 3. He breathes a little further. This is where it really starts to get interesting, because we've got 1, 2, 3. I'm just trying not to count out loud, but I have to because I'm not that smart. About 10, 12 left to go.
Yeah.
Bliss Hears and Antidote to Mars will be the next of those. Winning combination from the Grand Prix in San Miguel a couple of weeks ago. So Eduardo Menezes, one of the big contenders, goes out too.
This was a very impressive performance when she won in San Miguel, pipping Carl Cook into 2nd place, her Team Helios teammate. But she was quite emotional after that win, actually. You could see that having the 5-star Grand Prix win really meant a lot to her.
Well, she'd gone so close there the year before as well, because she was on the podium for top 3 the year before that, which had been her best Grand Prix result, 5-star Grand Prix result up to that point. So it was nice for her then to feel like finish the story with the Grand Prix win. She's been on the teams for USA before now, shortlisted for championships the last few years with this super horse for the Bridgeside Farms of Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, could this be their day again?
She was also on the podium in the 5-star Grand Prix of Valkenswaard in August as well. Also did well in Deauville in a 3-star Grand Prix. Also did well in a 4-star Grand Prix in Valkenswaard in the summer as well. And jumped well in the Nations Cup at Nockahibik in the summer as well. So it's been a very successful year for them.
Could be more to it yet. Not the biggest horse, but great versatility. Big-hearted horse as well. Get straight. Just might be a longer way. Yeah. You just see it get the first couple. I was just worried they're going to have the wrong distance through there, and unfortunately just on the 4 faults there. So they're also caught on the list. Jose Antonio Chedraui again. It gets a little more air in his lungs.
Yeah, he does indeed. I mean, I don't know that he would have anticipated that 3 time penalties would have had him at the top of the leaderboard for quite such a long time.
Well, as I say, but don't breathe too deeply yet, because you've got Ashley Bond still to come, Derek Kenny still to come, Alberto Misha, Rodrigo Lamre, those group, and his son still to come yet. So who knows? We could have a family affair of it. 82.52 there for, of course, Antidote de Mars and Bliss here. So they finish on a score of 8 in the end. So Jose Antonio Chedraui still leads. Amanda Derbyshire in second as the fastest of the fours. Eugenio Garza now on the 4, and I think very definitely if you're on 4 faults at this point, you will get your speed on, because you get into some very good money here this afternoon. In some very good money in San Miguel was Vanessa Mannix, who was top 3 there in the Grand Prix with this 9-year-old Kingston that looks so impressive there. Did a great job, got into the jump-off, threw them into the jump-off, jumped a really nice round, just really outgunned by a couple of more experienced horses from that point of view, but just looks so good. And again, they've come in with confidence, just likes to play around, a little Kingston.
Yeah,
but it works.
Adds his own flourishes a little bit.
Exactly.
But that's certainly very well managed by Vanessa, and as you say, she finished so well in San Miguel, getting that 3rd place. She also finished well in our 5-star Grand Prix at Vancouver as well. She was 8th there.
Yeah, does a lot of winning up into Thunderbird Show Park as well. Of course, she's, as you say, from Calgary, so it's, I'd say it's not too far away. It's quite a long way if you put it in European terms. It's not a big way if you put it in American terms.
Yes.
Getting some help this week with Alberto Misha, of course, usually with Connor Swale, who's up in Toronto. Just steadying through there. I'm going to say he's just going to need something else to get through there. So on the 4 also, and as I say, this is where, being a 9-year-old, I don't think she's going to push this one too much to suddenly try and go and put a fast time in, because likelihood you'll get them out of their natural rhythm. Just going to keep coming as she is. They've got a good run going at the moment. Potential for some good prize money. Down in the 4 faulters. 4 faulters going all the way down to 8th place at the moment. She's going to get inside the time. Good round once again for them. Been really good to see them come out of this Mexican tour with several good results, and that's still a pretty good result as well. Just finishing on the 4 there, 80.50. I don't think she'll be, although she would have obviously wanted to clear, be too displeased with that either. Finishing on the 4 there for Vanessa Mannix, and Kingston goes into 5th place at the moment. Sits behind Shane Sweetnam in 4th. Eugenio Garza in 3rd, Amanda Derbyshire in 2nd on the 4 faults, and the 3 faults of Jose Antonio Chedraui and H. Lucky Reto. This is a lady who could upset the party, is Ashley Bond. Represents Israel, originally from California, now the base over in Florida too. Donatello, 11th place individually at the Olympic Games, won the San Miguel Grand Prix last year. And again, plenty of 5-star experience, and is, I say, from an Olympic combination, so they know what a big track is. This could be their moment.
Yes, this was her horse for the Olympic Games. She won the 5-star Grand Prix of San Miguel last year. She was 8th last week in the 5-star Grand Prix here. She also went really well at Saugerties in September, and also went well for a podium finish in a 5-star speed class at Aachen in the summer too. Of course, leads Team Helios, but this is a very fast combination. And it's a powerful and athletic little horse. Yeah,
and loves running into those fences and just really picks up well when they get there. The triple combination will be the test, I think, for them.
Yeah.
Takes a little of the pace off. Keep the power up behind you. Yeah.
That's just the horse to do that, I think. Very deep into the CP, Oxford.
Good bit of riding so far. Water shouldn't be a big problem for them. And again, should cope with an extra right now. Just take care at the plank.
She's got time.
Time is going to be fine. Leave the last. Yeah, they will. That's good. I said it was potential for their moment to come through, and there it is. It is the first of the clears then. Will it be the only one? We'll see. Ashley Bond and Donatello will go clear for the rider for Israel, hailing from California. So, one clear on the board. Jose Antonio Chedraoui. A little bit of disappointment now, I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure also knew he couldn't hang on there forever either on a score of 3. She goes past the crowd, a big cheer from them.
Absolutely beaming as she comes past here as well.
Oh, there we go.
Fantastic to see. That was so well done.
So the question is, can anyone join her? I'm going to stick to my guns. I was still thinking maybe 3, but we'll see. Lacey Gilbertson, Carlin van Vennehoff, top 3 finish in the American Gold Cup this year. The 12-year-old by Fantomas de Muse for Lacey, being a big step-up year for her, and she's just really now found her wings into these big 5-star levels.
She has indeed. She's gone it so very, very well. She's been very consistent as well. This is the horse that she rode to a 3rd place finish in the American Gold Cup. That was her biggest result of her career to date. She jumps so well on the team competition as well. She's jumped more clears on the team competition on the Major League circuit than any other rider. She's had 5 top 10 finishes with this horse so far this year. We were also 11th in the 5-star Grand Prix in Ottawa. Good finish there. Trains with Shane Sweetnam, of course. I thought that was going to stay for a minute, but unfortunately just the front rail at 5 coming down.
So Ashley Bond is now the one to start taking a few deep breaths to see whether she's done enough. I think having as much experience as she does, she will be prepping up for a jump off.
Yeah. Just be interesting to see how many join her there.
All over the Cabana. Oh, in fact, it's the GNP Oxa. Just going to be on the 4. 83.73, so gets inside that time allowed of 84 seconds. So leaves her on the 4 for Lacey Gilbertson and Carlin van Vennehoff for her. And so puts her down the order a little bit further. Lacey going into 11th place as it stands. Steadiest of the 4 falters so far, but still in the money into 11th spot. Of course, looking at a top 12 for taking home a little bit of cash. Patricio Pascal in that 12th position at this point, but the main money slot is number 1, which is what Ashley Bond is in at the moment on the only clear, but another clear, and that will flip to being a tie. Now, Alberto Michan, Nabal de Trevera. Another for Israel now, originally from here in Mexico.
Very much on form as a rider.
Yeah, what, second earlier today in the winning round?
Yes, exactly. Second earlier, and a win earlier in the week as well. That was with Bugatti.
Yeah, already put wins up as well with Bugatti this week. Between Bugatti and Firewall, gets quite a few wins behind them, but on an early 4 and just has trouble at the wall there and turns away from the triple bar.
I think he thought he'd had the wall down, actually.
Yeah, no, hadn't.
No, just one down, but you know, at the end of the day, he's jumped this horse in various top-level competitions recently, and perhaps thinks that with a fence down, he may well have another one. And
well, just maybe doesn't feel right, whatever it is, but yeah. Say just was struggling at the wall there, and just then not right for the triple, so decides to now head on out. So Carlos Sancarrero now H5 Turbo Z for the young Mexican rider, 22 years of age now, on the 13-year-old that came well through to the top flight level with Kevin Jochims. Now been in his hands for a little while now. Carlos, part of the H5 team, with Eduardo de Menezes, and of course the whole of the Hank family there as well.
They finished the Grand Prix last week with 14. A couple down there and a bit for time. But they actually did really well in Dinard in a 3-star Grand Prix in July, getting through to the jump off there. Also jumped very well at Spruce Meadows, actually. Had 3 top 10 finishes there in the summer.
Moves up nicely to the water now, steady. He can use that big hinged frame to keep the control.
I mean, still, considering the way that a lot of these riders have been jumping, still 8 isn't necessarily a bad result.
Yeah, last fence is going to take it to 12, 80.66, so inside the time, but it is going to be 3 down for Carlos Sancarrero there, and H5 Turbo Z. Still 1 clear, Ashley Bonds and Donatello. So they hang on for a little bit longer yet. Let's just remind you who's still coming up. Natalie Dean, Manuel Gonzalez Dufresne, Dara Kenny, Jose Antonio Shadrawi Prom, son of, and Luis Pedro Beoben and Juan Ortiz. So still could see a couple of clears coming out of that group yet. Natalie Dean, a co-trem. This is a really nice-looking 9-year-old that's been German-bred by Toulon for California. Natalie, US team rider, and regular on the team for the Lugano Diamonds squad this season. Team Lugano. They haven't had the best season, but they did have 1 win, and she rode the winning round. She did indeed. So let's take that little bit of blue sky.
She'd actually had a really good show at Ottawa.
Yeah.
She was 5th in the 5-star Grand Prix there with a fast 4. And then she was also 5th in a 5-star jump-off class there as well. Also jumped this horse in an under-25 Grand Prix in Wellington in February and came 4th with the double clear.
Okay, quite a quick pace early on.
Then again in Toronto, she also just had 1 down in round 1. Yeah, that was in the 2-star Grand Prix.
Been a really nice looking combination so far. Again, not the biggest horse in the world either, but definitely not short of jump. Can they? No. Another exhale.
I think we're almost having more fences down in the triple combination than anywhere else. They are all the way around, as you said, but that is a seriously tricky part that's catching a lot of people out.
Yeah, it's the tunnel of trouble so far, I'm afraid. And they're quickly, big bold run at that Oxer. Now get home with the 4 and get yourself in some good prize. Oh, 8th it's going to be. That's a shame. 80.62 otherwise would have been in about 7th place. And so Natalie Dean just missing out there on the 8 faults on 80.62. So Ashley Bond still with the only clear at this point. And we have a little bit left to go. Around about, we got 5 left to go in the first round here. And We're going to pick up with Manuel Gonzalez de Frein and Hortensia, and delighted to say alongside me is Eduardo de Menezes. Eduardo, a little bit of disappointment, I'm sure, after having gone so well last week, but it's tough out there.
Yeah, you know, I have a young horse, and I didn't come to the triple the way I wanted. I came a little bit too hot, and he's so careful, and then he backed off very strong for B, and then all of a sudden I was really far from C. But he was jumping good so far, and this is how he goes.
Mexican rider Manuel and Hortensia, the horse he rode at the Nations Cup final this year as well. He's been on terrific form. I know you've probably watched him quite a few times as well. Give us a few of the, if you like, it's very easy afterwards to give us the key of how to ride this course. But what's it like from your level, having been round here?
I think it's a course, you know, I love this course designer. I think he does a great job. He makes you think all the way through. So I think you need to be on it. And if you, in any place of the course, you get distracted,
yeah,
you get caught. So I think it's a good course. I think it's a 5-star, and you need to ride well to go clear.
Manuel coming down here with Hortensia. Now, just talk me through how you would ride this line here coming, because the triples cause the most trouble.
Yeah, listen, the thing is, I don't know if it's because of the position of the triple, but when we walk the 9 to the 9 strides to the triple, way more steady than what it rides. So I think that's what is getting. At least that was for me, and I see a lot of people coming a bit hot to the triple, B stall, and then you have the crowd in front of you, so I think the horses, they stop a bit.
And you've got to get across that back bar.
Yeah, exactly. But Manuel, like always, he's a strong rider, strong couple. I hope he can bring it home.
Oh.
I jinxed it.
That was going to be my next discussion point for you. Just on the 4, it's a really good time though at 77.46, so puts him in 3rd place at the moment because he's the fastest of the 4s. Manuel going into 3rd, Jose Antonio Shadrawi in 2nd on the 3 Typhals, Ashley Bond on the 0 score so far. But again, I mean, he is just going so consistently now.
Yeah, he's a strong rider, very cool customer. He's always the same. It doesn't matter if it's the final of Barcelona or if it's a 145 class. He's always steady mind, great partnership with this horse, and always bringing good results to Mexico.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jose Antonio Shadrawi, we're on to the next generation now with Mighty Mouse, because of course Dad is in 2nd place at the moment. There's no secret.
Yeah, no, and I mean, this is also a very strong rider-horse combination. They have been going really well since Spruce Medals, and so I hope they can keep together to get us a nice jump off.
Mighty Mouse lives up to this horse's name quite often, doesn't it? It's a really fun horse.
This is a fantastic horse. This horse, I know for a long time, is one of those horses that he changed quite a few times the rider. Oh man.
That's a tough one.
I better shut up.
No, it definitely wasn't you. It definitely wasn't you.
But this is one, you know, is a mistake that it happens to everyone. I think Antonio saw the first one. The horse wasn't with his eye in the fence like he was, and then they found themselves in the middle of the way. But this is a horse that has jumped well with every single rider that he jumped with, and this is something that doesn't happen so often.
Yeah, Mighty Mouse is definitely a good fighter when it comes to the battle, but unfortunately it's an early exit from the battlefield today. Now, Eduardo, let's talk about this because we've got 2 left. We've got 3 left coming up. We've got Derek Kenny, Luis Pedro Biraben, and Juan Ortiz yet. I'm still sticking that I think we'll get a clear out of that group.
Listen, I'm gonna say whatever you say. I don't want to jinx anyone. I hope everyone goes clear.
How much harder is it, and how much attention do you pay as a rider? You know, if you're watching a class like this, there's one clear in there, and you're going, oh, it's tough. Do you pay much attention to how that's coming off? Because does that then prey on your mind if you're late to go, going, oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that?
Well, I actually, to myself, it motivates me. I love classes that are tough.
Yeah.
For me, for me, the worst to my mind to get concentrated is when I go in the end. It's a lot of clears.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hate to go. You have your good horse, and then I hate to go twice.
Yeah.
And don't place at all or get 12th place or so. So when it's like that, it motivates me. I think you need to know what people are doing not so right, what was riding different that we plan, because in general when classes go like that, that's the thing. You plan one thing and then it's riding different, and then so sometimes it's difficult to adapt. And you take the information that you can and try to do your best. But it's an advantage. That with 4 faults you can still be on the money. So yeah, I like to see this as an advantage, not as it's really tough.
Yeah.
It's a 5-star. It's supposed to be tough.
And knowing you, a good result last week, finishing second in that Grand Prix, but that will also, many will say, oh, that's great. You'll go, that's great, but also it motivates you. I want the #1 spot.
Yeah, last week is in the past.
Yeah.
You need to focus what is in front of you. I mean, it's great. I came here, my horse jumped super. I got good money, good points, but this was last week. If you walk in this course thinking about last week, then you already lost before you started.
Yeah, exactly. Luis Pedro Biraben and Chaco Bumpy looks like coming up. So I think we just got the 2 left to come.
We were discussing a little bit in the warm-up because of this line. His mare goes a bit to the right. The line from the triple bar to the triple combination is a little bit of a bending left. So we spoke. Maybe he will do one more stride, not to get so fast to the triple. I told him to do it.
Yeah.
So
so it's on you.
Yeah.
It's on you.
Oh. That rail caused more trouble that we thought also. Maybe the combination was, everybody's thinking about the skinny, forgetting the B part of the combination.
Yeah. Just hearing too, Dara Kenny's horse has lost a shoe, which is why he's not in the cycle that we thought. So we have still got the 3 left to come, but it's going to be down to 2 now because we're on to 4 faults here.
Oh, it's good that he didn't listen. He did the 9 and the mare jumped really well the triple. He asked me if I thought the 10 could work. I said, your mare goes right, but she jumped straight there, and he did well to keep the initial plan.
And again here, the way Gregory set that line and then just swings you back to a little light plank, totally different test.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, if you look, it's right in the shadow of the ring. The crowd just beside some horses, they lose a little bit of their focus. It's against the in-gate. So it's a lot of little things to keep it in mind.
So just going to finish on the 4 at 78.82 there for Luis Pedro Biraben into 4th place with Chaco Bumpy. Ashley Bond still holds on as the only clear so far with Donatello. There are those of my colleagues I know where they're judging whether they're officiating riders say perfect class is 1 clear. We will see.
Yeah, I like to see a jump off. It's good for the crowd and so. But okay, it is what it is. I hope we still have a jump off.
Still got 2 shots.
Exactly.
Still got 2 shots. We've got 1 Ortiz to come, and Dara Kenny is going to keep us on the edge of the seat because he's going to be coming last by the looks of it. As I say, they just put a new shoe on to Great Tequila J that he's going to be riding. So 1 Ortiz and Kinky Boy, the 12-year-old Belgian-bred gelding by Nabab de Rêve. For him here, I talked about this. It's a big jumping horse. He's a bigger horse though. He's going to have to do a bit of handling here. Yeah,
for him, this week compared to last week, this week is it's maybe a bit of a tougher class, but the time allowed is easier.
Yeah.
So for him, this is an advantage. I hope he can use it. last week for a slower horse like him, he needed to chase the time the whole time, so he gets things a little bit rushed sometimes. Oh, yeah, that rail again. You know, him again, he jumped one, and then I think thinking about the time, he took the first distance to number 2.
Yeah.
The horse did a big jump, a little bit, maybe too forward.
Yeah.
And then it comes this combination. It happened the same to Carlos, my student. And then a little bit too casual to B. Everybody's thinking about the skinny, and in the end, the B of the combination, I have the feeling, I haven't been watching so much the class, but
yeah.
I have the feeling that caused more problems than the skinny.
Yeah. Yeah, the skinny not so much, actually, as you say. The double is the one that's really sort of come out of it. And he's been using the skinny sort of well over the last week and last week too with Anthony too. They've been playing with those a little bit more. Interesting, the class this morning finished on one. But here he's sitting on the 8 fault so far for Juan Ortiz and Kinky Boy. So it's going to leave us one left to go. It's either going to go Ashley Bond's way or it's going to be a jump off with Ashley and Dara. Last fence too. That last line is not an easy one to finish off. We just talked about the shadows in there as well, but even to get that, 4 strides down to the last
5, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, the line, if you get too big of a shot to the plank, then the 5 is they come short enough.
Yeah.
By this stage of the ring, you know, you come from long canters, and so this is a big ring. The footing is fantastic, so the horses, they canter well, and I think you know, the right way, the way I was planning at least to ride, is thinking about the time for the plank, but don't, you know, turn short. So the jump is smaller.
Yes.
And then you can keep the momentum to the last, and not that you need to jump the plank and then hold and then push.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, one of the things that people are getting that down, like in the shadow, the colors, if you see it's a little like green, and so it's not it doesn't,
they're not distinctive.
Yeah, not so much.
Okay, last one to go is Dara Kenny and Great Tequila J for the many-time 5-star winner, 5-star Grand Prix winner. He's won Grand Prix down in Wellington, Florida with this horse as well for the HKC collection, the 11-year-old Dutch-bred horse by Corroso VDL. Dara basically up against Ashley Bond here, because she's the only clear so far. If he can pull off a clear round, well, we've got a straight head-to-head between those two. If he has a fence, well, it goes Ashley Bond's way.
Yeah, I hope Dara can bring it home. If you want to have one rider to do that, this is Dara.
Yeah.
Fantastic rider, all the experience. Mare's jumping great.
What's interesting is, besides the music, how quiet it's gone in the arena as well, watching this. This will be...
I think he lost a shoe right after the triple bar. So hope he can keep it together. The footing is fantastic. So if you want to lose a shoe in the grass field, this would be one to do it.
Keeps the balance so far. Good pace. Time is not going to be an issue.
No.
This plank might.
There you go. He turns fast.
Yep, got it. One more fence.
Keep the momentum, and there we go.
There we go. There we go. So it will be a jump off between those two, Dara Kenny and Great Tequila J, and Ashley Bond and Donatello. The really interesting thing there, Eduardo, is they're two very fast pairings.
Yeah, you know, there's just only 2 in the jump off, but you don't need more than those 2 to get it entertained.
It's going to keep us entertained. Eduardo, thank you very, very much for joining me. I know you've had a busy schedule, but you've had a good 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It's always good for me, you know. Way back, I start over here in Monterrey.
Yeah.
I live 2 years here, so for me it's always a feeling of coming back home. I always have a great time, see a lot of friends. My horses, they jump well, today was not our day, but I finished with a good taste in my mouth.
Excellent, good. Thank you very, very much for joining us. We're getting set for the jump-off of this GNP Seguros Grand Prix, and we are going to have a head-to-head, one exciting, tasty one this is for the afternoon. Ashley Bond and Donatello against Dara Kenny and Great Tequila J. It's not a long list. It's as simple as that. Two are going to vie against each other to decide the final Grand Prix of our Mexican circuit down here for the 3 weeks of competition. To conclude, don't go far away because it is going to be Ireland against Israel. Back in a few minutes.
There are all kinds of legends here, each one of them with their own story. But there is one thing they all have in common. They all drive us to find our greatness. Greatness is not something you were born with, nor is it reserved for a few. Greatness is, in any case, a choice. It begins with a dream and transcends languages, generations, and borders. It comes from a team united in body, mind, and spirit. Because by joining forces, the extraordinary can be achieved. True greatness forges a legacy that inspires others to dream more and become more, creating a better world for those who will come next. Legends inspire greatness in others. Let's be legends.
Premier Equestrian, the #1 choice for footing products. Premier Equestrian, footing products that improve performance. Premier Equestrian, footing products for cushion and stability. Call 800-611-6109 or visit premierequestrian.com.
Well, welcome back. Getting set for an exciting jump-off, and I can definitely tell you that because we've got two superb riders going against each other. Ashley Bond and Donatello going up against Dara Kenny and Great Tequila J. The finishing touch is being made to the course out there. Gregory Baudot of France, our course designer here this week on week 2 of La Silla here in Monterrey. And course will start over the triple bar this time. So that was coming into that cutting triple combination. Now it's been reduced just down to one fence this time. So it's 8A after that. So 7, 8A. roll back alongside the arena side to 3A and B, which was the Major League double. We keep the two parts of that to keep a double in the track. From 3A and B, it's then back to fence 2. That's the birdhouses. So top third of the arena there, so a good loop back to there on the right rein. Then they go on the left rein to go to what was fence 1. New fence 15 is just on a curve after that added in, and so that keeps on a line going right the way down the arena, and that is going to take them down to the in-gate end of the arena, where we're going to add a little bit of a change to the final fence. Fence 6 is going to be the last. For those that are paying real attention, you'll say, well, hang on, that was the wall as the last fence. They're actually going to change it for poles, although we see the same wings. You're going to see poles on that final vertical this time as the last on course. So 7, 8A, 3A and B, 2, 1, 15 and 6. I don't think you're going to need a big graphic to tell you who's the jump off, because there's just 2 of them, Ashley Bond and Donatello and Sarah Kenny, Great Tequila J. Beautiful afternoon here in Monterey. It's been a little bit chilly, but we're back down to the shirt sleeves now again as the sun goes just above the mountains at the moment before it will drop down in an hour or so's time. But it will be setting on what's been 2 terrific weeks of competition here in Mexico in this venue. Of course, we've had 3 weeks in Mexico as a whole, in the San Miguel de Allende, of course, a few weeks ago, and then to the doubled up double viewing here in Monterrey, and it's been something very special indeed. Indoors, of course, last night with the teams, just to shake things up again as well, and last week's big Grand Prix with the win for Lily Keenan. This week, will it go to partner Dara Kenny, or will it be Ashley Bond that will be victorious? Remember, last year she was the winner of the Grand Prix in San Miguel de Allende as well, so she would double up as the rider to have won in both of the Mexican venues. Can she be the one to pull that off this time? Highly likely it could be. She will do one thing for certain, and that's start us off with a jump off with a lot of pace. She's a fast going combination with her and Donny, and then Great Tequila J has certainly got plenty under the hood as well that could put them through the gears to keep up with them as well. So they're just putting the finishing touches to that changed last fence as we are planning. So just putting the poles in there now to put that one into place, and then we'll be underway with the jump off. Let's just remind you what's coming up over the next couple of weeks, well, next few stages as well, because we go to one venue but 2 different ways of looking at the venue as well, because we are off to the Desert Horse Park into December. We take a couple of weeks hiatus now, and then on the other side of Thanksgiving, for those in the US, we will be then on to the 2 stages over in California. The first in the Desert Horse Park at one end of the horse park, over into the beautiful grass arena that was produced specifically last year for the event, and then the following week we flip it, we head down to the other side of that one fantastic venue, and we go under the lights for the final stages of the team and the last Grand Prix of the season for massive money as well. So there's a lot on the line with those final 2 stages at one stop. 2 different, if you like, ends of the venue, 2 different aspects to it, 2 different ways of riding. It's going to make it all a little bit different, and looking forward to that. But we'll be taking a couple of weeks break to come into that as well. So it is going to be a head-to-head between 2 well-established riders, 2 Olympic riders, with Dara Kenny and Ashley Bond, both having competed at the Olympic Games in Tokyo last year, and so have got all the credentials here to succeed. The last fence has now gone in place. It went from being a wall to now 5 poles up there. Interestingly, gone with the 5 poles, not too gappy, not too much into the light modern style, gone somewhere in between there. A little bit of a hark back to the days of the big Grand Prix previously here in La Silla. Of course, a great history of that. Those that will go back to that will remember the Pulsar Crown Grand Prix that took place here, with the world's best jetting in to Monterey to compete for massive prize money as part of a 3 circuit series. Then we're now up into 2022. This is what it looks like. Major League jumping, and grows and grows and could those heady days be on the horizon once again? We've already seen some brilliant sport from some of the best. Lily Keenan's win last week against Eduardo de Menezes that we heard from a little bit earlier on, and now with Ashley Bond up against Dara Kenny to decide this Grand Prix class. It's kept us on the edge of the seats through with just that one clear right up until the last to go in the first round, and so that's where we keep a little bit of spice into this class as well. But it's time to throw on the last bit of hot sauce on this big class and see who gets the spiciest finish to take home the trophy here. So fences 7, 8A, back to the doublet 3A and B. 2-1, new fence 15 coming across the arena, takes them right down the long length of the arena, and then a turn back, as I say, to that adjusted last fence, still with the Major League wings on it, but with 5 poles in there now, but still with the 5 poles in there, plenty of bold running to go at that. So looks like our arena team have completed their work. Thanks to them throughout the 2 weeks here, have been working night and day to produce not only this arena. There have been 3 arenas going here. The Ring 2, as it is now, was the former main ring of this venue, but they are just so special all the way through. And so we've seen young horses, we've seen the 2 stars, and now we see the conclusion to the 5-star weeks here in Monterey as well. And what a way to finish. It's been put on a plate, and it is top class menu to finish off on. So looking forward to this. Final throws of competition here in Mexico. 2 to go against each other to decide the GNP Seguros Grand Prix here this afternoon. Music just drifting across the arena as it has been through all the weeks. We had some terrific entertainment, the mariachi bands, the singers, the dancers, the riders. All of the flavour of Mexico has been brought to the various different parts of the venue. For those of you who are following on the live stream, you might not have seen some of the other entertainment that's been going on, not just, of course, auctions, but fun classes in the evenings that have been revving up the local crowds as well. Been lovely to see the crowds out here, and in the last of the sunshine of the weekend as well. I say it's been chilly earlier into the day, but you know, chilly for this part of the world. No snow, but it is about to get hot. Coming in is the first of our 2 into this Grand Prix finale. And so we are going to go with Ashley Bond first, because that's the way the draw went with Donatello 141. Now she has the opportunity here. This is one of those situations where you say, well, I'm not quite sure whether you're better going first or second, because she can actually really lay it down. And Dara has then got to do the catching. Or is it the other way around of knowing what you've got to catch and feeling like that's the position I want to be in? Either way here, I don't think for these 2 of this standard, it is going to be their own game plan, however it works. So I think just into the final little discussion in the tunnel, and then we will be underway with the jump off between these 2. A head-to-head to finish off the week. She's in the arena. Just over near the grandstands at the moment. Nice to see, as I say, plenty of faces watching the big class here. So fanfare goes up, and away we go. She won in San Miguel last year. She had a brilliant run earlier this year on a different horse to win the Rolex Grand Prix down in Wellington, Florida. This would be another one to add to the list. Time to unleash the Bond bombshell. Can she bring it home? Sure to be an explosive, exciting round, revving up this pair naturally so fast. Hold your breath. Gets up there on the 8. Now again, just got to be careful coming out of this double, this vertical. Oh, turning in the air. Gets a good shot. This is good. If she leaves them up, this is hard to get to. This is where the new fence is added in. One more on course, building to a crescendo. Gets up, gets home, gets the clear. 37-27, Ashley Bonds and Donatello. Just have to wait now. 37-27, did not leave much there, but Dara Kenny is as slick as anything, as in on a very fast horse. The crowd are loving that one. Is it going to be enough? Not so sure yet. But you certainly wouldn't say the door is wide open. Ashley Bonds lays down her score, 37-27 and clear. Dara Kenny, very simple, beat that. This is a sport at its most fascinating, if you like, most basic in a head-to-head, but also potentially most exciting too. Ireland's Dara Kenny, many-time five-star winner, Olympic rider, great Tequila J for the HKC collection and White Rock Farm, the 11-year-olds for Dara. He knows what it's like to win five-star Grand Prix, has done it on a number of occasions, has another opportunity now. But with 37-27 in the bank, it's a slim one, but he could well do it. Let's just see. Gets up there, look like 7 up there. Really move forward. Oh, but gets too tight. So down it goes. Whatever happens, he finishes in second. So he just going to hack home now, I think. He can take all the pace off. Ashley Bonds is going to be your winner. The cheers came from the side of the ring. Team Helios didn't have the easiest day yesterday in terms of team competition, but they've definitely fought back today with the 2 5-star wins with Eugenio Garza this morning and Ashley Bond this afternoon. Dara Kenny will take second with Great Tequila J. Ashley Bond gave us the first of the clears. She gives us the winning rounds here for the GNP Seguros Grand Prix here in Monterey. A fitting finish for a terrific 2 weeks of competition here in the beautiful setting of La Silla. It's wonderful to see this venue back on the world stage, and with a super titanic battle between Israel, Ireland for the top 2. Third in the end was Mexico's Jose Antonio Chedraui, and with that 3 time faults finishing into the 3rd spot. Super round from him. 4th to Manuel González de Fren Hortensia on the fastest of the 4s. Luis Pedro Birraben after that in 5th. 6th place to Amanda Derbyshire. 7th, Eugenio Garza Contago in the money once again. 8th to Shane Sweeten and Namaste. 9th to Vanessa Mannix in Kingston. And 10th to Nick Pizarro and Mike Wazowski. That is us signing off from Mexico. Presentation, enjoy that. I think if they have the usual traditions here as well, they have a wonderful display of falconry as part of this too. So do stay tuned for something that is part of tradition here and a little bit different. To take the winning ribbon will be Ashley Bonds and Donatello. What a finish. Great job by Gregory Bodo for our course designer here this week as well for another very good finish. Our thanks to Antti D'Ambrosio, our course designer last week as well, and to all of those involved over the 2 weeks here in La Silla. It's been a very special 2 weeks. It's been full of excitement, of music, of entertainment, and a lot of colour. We'll see you down the road in a couple of weeks' time in California for the Desert Horse Park and the final 2 stages of Major League Jumping 2022. they will get the job done from any slot whatsoever. So it is Ashley Bond that will lift the trophy. She then gets the set, if you like. She's won both stages of the Mexican Tour, winning last year in San Miguel de Allende, and she and Donny now doubling up with the win here in Monterrey.
That's why I'm here.
Just tell us quickly, the first person you rang after this win.
My dad and my mom, you know, this is thanks to them, so, and my husband and my daughter, of course.
I can see it's quite an emotional win for you. Tell us why this one means so.
The top rider there for Ashley Bond. Our best wishes to all her family as well. Hopefully we'll be seeing them over in California, and to all of us, our very best. And let's get ready for presentations. It's on the way to complete this five-star double bill here in Monterrey. The sun, we've got a little bit of sunshine to bring you with the raising of the flag and probably a little bit of champagne to celebrate a Grand Prix win here for Ashley Bond and Donatello, and the raising of the flag for Israel to conclude the Grand Prix. Top stuff, emotional stuff, and it's what it's all about.
place para Dara Kenny from Ireland with Great Tequila J. Y como anunciáramos, vamos a tener la entrega de manera especial de la moña para el primer lugar a cargo de la Aguililla de Harris, como es tradicional en la silla para los grandes premios. Aguililla de Harris, especialmente criada en el Club Hípico La Silla, hará entrega de la moña del primer lugar de este gran premio al metro 60, GNP Seguros. Atentos al vuelo y planeo de la Aguililla de Harris del Club Hípico La Silla. Una vez más se cumple la tradición de la entrega de la moña del primer lugar a cargo de la Aguililla de Harris en el Club Hípico La Silla. Primer lugar para Ashley Bond de Israel y Donatello 141. First place for Ashley Bond from Israel with Donatello 141. Invitamos a los clasificados en los 3 primeros lugares a desmontar para continuar con la premiación en el podio. To the podium, please, Ashley Bond and Dara Kenny y José Antonio Chedraui, los 3 clasificados en los 3 primeros lugares de este gran premio GNP al metro 60. Nos honra con su participación en esta ceremonia de premiación el ingeniero Alfonso Romo. Entrega de trofeos. Trofeo para el tercer lugar, José Antonio Chedraui de México. Trofeo del segundo lugar para Dara Kenny de Irlanda. From Ireland, Dara Kenny. Second place. Trophy for the second place. Y el trofeo para el primer lugar corresponde a Ashley Bond de Israel. First place trophy for Ashley Bond from Israel. Foto del recuerdo en este gran premio al metro 60, organizado por el Club Hípico La Silla en el marco de su concurso de salto internacional 5 estrellas, Gran Premio GNP Seguros. Invitamos a la distinguida concurrencia a ponerse de pie para el himno nacional de Israel. Please stand up for the national anthem of Israel. continuación, The Toast, el brindis de los 3 clasificados en los primeros lugares. Toast with Ashley Bond, Tara Kenny, and José Antonio Chedraui. Con José Antonio Chedraui. Cheers with Dara Kenny. Cheers with Ashley Bond. Please return your horses for the lap of victory. Vamos a proceder con la tradicional vuelta de la victoria. Vamos con la tradicional vuelta de la victoria. Please, Miss Ashley Bond, lead the lap of victory. Vuelta de la victoria, encabezada por Ashley Bond de Israel y Donatello. Fuertes los aplausos para Ashley Bond y Donatello. Primer lugar en el Gran Premio GNP al metro 60. Segundo lugar para Tara Kenny de Irlanda y Grace Tequila J. Tercer puesto, José Antonio Chedraui de México y H. Rocky Reto. Cuarto lugar, Manuel González Dufrán de México y Hortensia Van de Liber. Quinto lugar para Luis Pedro Virabén de Argentina y Chaco. Congratulations, Ashley. Second lap of victory for the winner. Segunda vuelta de la victoria para la ganadora de este gran premio al metro 60, GNP, Ashley Bond y Donatello. Fuertes los aplausos para la ganadora de la versión 2022 del Gran Premio La Silla. GNP Seguros, metro 60, 65 estrellas.
We have a new